Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that the other day. That we grew up with, there was some show I was watching and they talked about, they remembered when they got their color TV, and I remember when we got ours.
When did you guys get your color TV?
Oh, Beth. Ooh, let's see. Early 70s.
Early 70s?
Yeah.
And what was your favorite show?
Ooh. At that time, we watched All in the Family. We watched all the good comedies like that. Oh, Carol Burnett Show.
Yeah.
Carol Burnett Show. That was, wow. Maud. Carol Burnett. My afternoon show was the Three Stooges. God, now that I think about it, it's like, would we all sit down and watch? And there was only one TV, and there was no remote.
Right.
And you had 3 channels, 4 if you were lucky, if the weather was good. So it was whatever, Dad wanted to watch.
Okay. Do you recall any important moments in the town's development growing up? You said they reopened the theater and...
That, yeah. That was for a few... Oh, and our centennial celebration. Different events they had around town. I was there for the time capsule when they enclosed that at the police station.
When did they do that?
82.
82.
Mervyn Collins, 84. City of Rain was 82.
And they both did time capsules?
Centennials.
Centennial.
I'm trying to, I said it backwards, but yeah. Because not long after the town was incorporated, that's when, let's see, I think that's how it worked. Yeah. Not long after the town was incorporated, then Mervyn Collins was established.
Okay.
So the Centennials were close together.
Yeah, so the town is 82.
Yeah, 1882.
And Mervyn Con...
1884.
Okay. And they each had different celebrations?
The town, yeah, we had parade, we had the beard growing contest, and had different events to celebrate the centennial. But I remember the time capsule, and they placed that at the police station, and I was there for that. Didn't know if I'd make it to the next 100 years, but at least I could tell my son I was there.
Yeah.
You should be there. And then Mervyn Con just had different things, different sales throughout the year for the centennial.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of other big events. Oh, when the train derailed right here in the middle of town.
When
I
was
remember
that?
My sister was driving. Let's see, that would be Stephanie, and I was probably 6, so we might be talking 68, 69. If you check with the newspaper, they got pictures of that. Dad was at work. No, Dad was at the townhouse, the coffee shop right here. Worked at Mervyn's, had to cross the tracks to go to the townhouse and get his coffee. He was sitting in there, and so it was like, like they say for earthquakes, things just bounced up. And there was 3 or 4 boxcars that just flipped right off the tracks, right in the middle of town, right on the depot.
Was anyone hurt or anything?
Not that I can recall. I don't remember anybody getting killed.
Wow. That's weird. Why would they just fall over like that?
I was young. I didn't get I just remember jumping in the car, and we lived on the south end of town by the new cemetery on Robert Street, and we heard about it, and my sister drove and my brother, and I remember being in the back seat, holding on to the front seat watching, and we came up the road, Parkerson, and to see the train cars just flipped over.
Wow.
Just loose rails, I guess.
Yeah.
But in the middle, and it didn't, because we had the depot right there. It didn't fall, and it fell on the south side, and you have buildings right up along the tracks on the south side. And it was just miraculous or lucky that, didn't fall into a building.
Right. And no one was hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so now we're going to talk about Mervyn Con.
Okay.
Do you remember, what's your first memory of MervineCon?
Probably going to buy my clothes. Maybe I was like 5 or 6. I can remember going there.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember the different sections of the store?
Oh yeah, I knew every part of that store like the back of my hand, and the warehouse. Because
And the warehouse.
yeah, I started working there. Well, I was 13 or 14, but you can't say that. What? I mean, I started from scrubbing toilets to working all the way up to working in the office. I did it all.
What sections did they have? I know they had piece goods.
Okay. Before, let's see, that would be the hardware. Okay, if you're looking at the building, the first building all the way. Well, let's start with the main part of the building.
Okay.
Where the original store was, where the double doors were.
Mm-hmm.
You had your dry goods, which included giftware, your pots, your pans, your dishes. Then further back, you had the ladies' shoe department to the left. Then you had your fabrics department.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a wing off of that building, was the ladies' shoe department. Then you had the junior department was there whenever the hardware department was still open. So there was a junior department, then you had the stairs to go upstairs and put in the balcony.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually that became the drapery department.
Mm-hmm.
And right behind that you had the receiving room.
Okay.
Which we had 2 back doors, a receiving room and then the back door that entered behind the men's department. And then of course you had the upstairs, just like in the old pictures where the family lived upstairs, and when I was there that was just storage.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the alley between the next building. Well, that's the building on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the alley that was as they bought the buildings down the block. Then that inside the alley was an office towards you had the alcove, and you had an office to the left, and then you had Mr. Jankower's office to the right, and the secretary's office up front. Then you had the ladies' ready-to-wear, or the ladies' dresses. Then in the room behind that, you had the seamstress behind the dressing rooms. Then on to the next building, you had the men's department, which was, and then you have
Is that where like the Dollar General is now?
not that far down.
Okay.
They never had that far down. We're going to go one more building. Let's see. Yeah, Dollar General is now in the building where the hardware department was.
Okay.
And I think before my time, that's where the grocery store was.
Okay.
I think it was in that building. And before the hardware was in that building, I think they would sell goods out of the warehouse.
Okay.
I think that's how it was. Maybe, Mr. Bayland would that'd be more his time, he could remember.
And what was in the warehouse? Just extra stuff?
Well, they just said a lot of old stuff. When I was there, it was right after the hardware, so there was still some old appliances and all that. And eventually